Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is December 6th. And I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted that you could spend a couple of minutes with me today. I hope you enjoy your time here at Soulprint. Before I go any further, I have to thank all of the viewers and subscribers from this channel who have also gone over and subscribed to Soulprint Insights. I very, very much appreciate it. This channel has started to grow really quickly as a result of your support. And so that makes me incredibly happy and very, very grateful. If you haven't found it yet and are interested in finding it, you can literally either look up the words Soulprint, and both tarot and insights should come up if you're looking at, in YouTube. But the official name of the other channel is Soulprint Insights. And you can also look in that little box. There is a link to that other channel. So again, thank you so much. I'm very excited to be starting this new journey. It's something that I've wanted to do for quite a while. And I'm really, really excited and delighted that you guys are supportive of the idea and giving that channel a chance to find its feet and flourish. So thank you very much. The other thing I just wanted to address, because I was getting questioned on it, was whether one channel replaces the other. And the answer is no. The Soulprint Intuitive Tarot channel, this channel is going to go on as long as I am able, of course, but as long as you feel that there is a need for the information that I share. Okay, so and then the Insights channel is sort of its own separate entity. As far as Intuitive Tarot goes, I plan on continuing with my daily videos Monday to Friday. And as far as Insights go, I am planning on doing 2 videos on that channel a week. One is likely to be channeled information, and the other one is just going to be general information, whether that is a guided meditation, whether that is, a conversation about healing and healing energy and colors. So you can look forward to that if you are interested. And now I'm going to get on with the reason I'm here. Okay, so what a mess. Honestly, what a mess. It's like sometimes you just can't help but think that Trump is just here to absolutely destroy everything and to honestly to throw the world into a state of chaos. So you know what, frankly, you can kind of understand why the evangelicals are all excited about the guy, because they're convinced he is going to bring on the war, that's going to bring on the rapture. And my God, day by day, you got to sort of start worrying about that. So he kills Soleimani, I think is how you pronounce his name, who is sort of the second most powerful general under the leader of Iraq. And he ends up, I believe it was a drone bomb or something, takes this guy and his little entourage out when they are in Iran. So right there, you've got a whole bunch of places really upset, right? Because it's not even like he did it on their land. He did it on another country's sovereign land. So this is not good. So I want to do a dive. I want to see what is going on here. And he did not do this alone. He doesn't have the brains or the smarts. And in fact, the reason it happened is because he doesn't have the brains or the smarts and doesn't, of course, understand any of the implications of the decisions and choices he makes. So I have a question. So come on down. Okay, so today's question is this. Please give us some insight, guidance, and understanding on the decisions that were made by Trump in terms of the assassination of this general. What was going on there? Okay, so this is how I'm going to break this down. So Iraq, Iran, U.S. Iraq, Iran, U.S. Iraq, Iran, U.S. Yeah. Okay, so first thing that we can tell right now is that, oh my God, okay. So this is what we know. We know that the stable genius did not make this decision. We know that it was a group of people that sort of were talking in his ear, were, because again, remember, Trump is in support of whatever the last voice said, okay? So I'm getting the energy that there were some countries that really were manipulating him into this position. And frankly, Saudi Arabia comes to mind and Russia comes to mind. So, and I'm not saying that's it. I'm just saying those are the two that just pop right into my head right away. And there are benefits, and it has everything has to do with that oil. And so this is a problem, right? Because he actually did this without any awareness whatsoever of the can of worms he was kicking over. He didn't understand it. And this, and we know this. If somebody he likes says, this is a good thing for you, Donald, you should be doing this. The world supports you. Everybody knows you're brilliant. Well, then when the administration, Trump's own people, are saying, you know what, maybe you should slow down. Other administrations didn't used to do this. It's very reckless. Consequences are going to be more than you realize. Well, let's face it. This person over here who likes Trump is telling him this is a good plan. These people over here who Trump, frankly, is suspicious of all of them because he doesn't think any of them really are, standing behind him as full-throatedly as he would like. Well, they're saying something he doesn't want to hear. So who is he going to listen to? Okay? So it wasn't very hard and it's 3 other countries. It wasn't very hard for them to kind of maneuver him into a place and a position where, this deed was fulfilled and carried out. And the fact that Trump did it without consulting anyone, not even the Gang of 8, like nobody, except apparently for Lindsey Graham, help us all, it's an indicator that, he was being told, they're not going to back you, they're not going to support you, but really, Donald, this is the way to go. This is the right thing. And so he just, again, goes off and makes these sort of unilateral decisions that have all of these unintended consequences because, he's listening to whoever has the loudest voice in the room. And so that's exactly what you've got. And this deal that involves 3 countries plus the United States is being used literally as the puppet again. There is no good. This is a dark deal, okay? This has to do, I'm sure it has to do with oil, and it has to do with basically greed and getting as much as they can, as fast as they can, and they don't care, as Russia has proven with Ukraine, they don't really care who's, territory they tromp over to get from I want this to I have this. And so what has happened is it is as if when it comes to international relations, it is as if Trump held 2 big bottles of pop in his hand, and he shook. Oh, you're American, so you would say soda in his hand. Sorry. And shook, and then took the lids off and just waited for that effervescent explosion to go everywhere, right? He just doesn't kind of get it. And frankly, he thinks that the fireworks and the explosion, he thinks they're kind of cool. He kind of likes them, it makes him look like a big, strong man. And then he can stand around saying things like, well, we have 52 sites set out, and, if anybody dare comes after us for the fact that we did this on foreign soil, Yeah, you know what? We have these 52 targets in mind. Well, you know what? Honestly, who believes him? Right? I mean, come on. When was the last thing, anything that came out of that White House or that administration, when was it provably true? I know the silence out there is deafening. 15,000 lies in something like 1,500 days in office. All right. He's in his bubble, people. He is in his bubble. He really, at this point, he's still quite not understanding the ramification and the impact of what he did. And in part, oh Lord, in part because in that twisted little brain of the fools, he believes that the impeachment and this literally attack on another country that you are not in war with, he really, in some crazy part of his brain, actually believes that this is really, really good for his re-election campaign. That's what he believes. He is starting to recognize that he is on a little bit more dangerous ground than he maybe thought he was, although he still thinks he's right, okay? He's just sort of maybe understanding that people are not understanding and appreciating the brilliance of the man. Well, this is actually going to be, frankly, disastrous for him. It is not going to go well. It is not going to unfold well. And ultimately, he is going to be the one holding the sack of crap over this situation. And I'll tell you why. Because everybody else can say, he didn't consult us. He didn't even talk to us. We didn't know he was doing this. We can't be responsible. Lindsey Graham. Right? So, and Mitch McConnell, and, whoever else is out there who to some degree apparently has some sort of influence with this man, or at least is honor bound or blackmail bound to do his bidding. So I digress. So the point is that this is really going to bring him down, and he's going to get left holding it all by himself because everybody else, he's given them cover. All I have to say is, he didn't tell me. He did not ask for my input. I had no idea that this was going to happen. I didn't know that this is what he was thinking, and they get off scot-free, okay? So he really, really has put himself in a fix. And the other one who is not going to do well with this sequence of events here is Mike Pompeo. And he was already in a boatload of trouble for the antics that went on with the Ukraine situation. And now he's doing it again. And this time, I'm sorry, it was an act of war. And he's standing there saying, we just expected a little pushback and we're safer now. How are you safer now? But you know what? That's his story. God help him. He's sticking to it. So Trump and Pompeo are both really, really on dangerous, dangerous ground here because it's not going to go well. Okay, so how is it not going to go well? What does this look like? Okay, so the first thing to realize is that one of the things that Trump and his administration has never figured out, I honestly can't understand it, is that eventually all the secrets come out, right? It all ends up in the public domain. But they think that this isn't going to. They think that all of the backroom dealings and everything that was going on, Trump believes that they're so brilliant at hiding things, of course, that this is safe and that we'll never figure out, actually, about the other countries that were talking in his ear and the other countries who this absolutely benefits, especially when you're talking about the production of oil. And Kushner is involved in this, but Kushner really was speaking for Saudi Arabia, except Kushner's also supposed to be fixing the issues with Israel. it makes no sense. I mean, that's just it. When you try to draw a straight line between point A and B, you end up like so twisted up. You can't even figure out where the line starts and ends anymore. But they really think that this is going to be kept quiet. And what they don't understand is, you know what? Times are different now, okay? Just energetically, we are in 2020. That is not anywhere near the same energy of 2019. 2020 boils down to a 4. And a 4 it boils down to this. We are going to destroy and destruct whatever is not working for us so that we can create a new beginning and a new way of doing things. He doesn't get it. He doesn't even realize that he's the one that is going to be struck down. Like he's not seeing it yet. And you know what? He's going to be on the defensive. And, I don't know yet who, but he's for sure going to throw somebody under the bus for this when he realizes it's not good. Oh, my God. Okay. This is what we have. Is American blood going to be shed? Yes. I am so sorry. Is American blood going to be shed literally in the country of the United States over this? And again, the answer is yes. Is this going to lead us into a war? I don't think so. It's going to be scary. There's going to be some really hard decisions that have to be made. But when it comes right down to it, cooler heads are going to be able to sort of prevail. But the next short, and ultimately it's not going to be sort of as horrible or bad as perhaps we're thinking or worrying about that it is right now. But this is not one of those silly little things that Trump does at home. Like, I don't know, ignore subpoenas, This is his behavior on the international stage. And he doesn't understand in any way, shape, or form that he is considered a fool by every other country. Even the ones who smile and shake his hand they just recognize him as this brilliant, brilliant puppet who is too ignorant, literally devoid of the facts or the knowledge or the understanding of the ramifications of the choices he makes, because he's only living in the moment, and whatever he thinks is good for him in this moment, he just jumps off a bridge and does. So it's not going to be good. And this is the thing that I guess maybe Americans need to understand in this situation. Is there are a lot of countries who are, allies of the United States. And you as a country have now basically lost their trust and support because there is no trust. And it's funny because I keep getting, as I was saying that, I keep getting sort of pictures of NATO and the United Nations, and I guess here becomes the question, right? Okay, so if Iran or Iraq, frankly, somehow figure out a way to do some serious damage in the United States, would that then be a situation where NATO is sort of honor bound to step in? Because, when one gets attacked, it's as if all of us were attacked. And then if those countries say, no, this is illegal, it's illegitimate, it shouldn't have happened, it was started in a way that it was not honorable, well, then Trump can start yelling and screaming about how NATO doesn't do what it says it's supposed to do. And yep, you know what? I'm not going and pulling out of NATO. Like, you can almost see sort of a crazy sequence of events unfolding here. So you know what? This is a scary time, and it goes into part and parcel of what is actually going to cause the end of his presidency, whether it is early or whether it is at the elections. However, for a while after Trump leaves office, there really is going to be a sense of, you know what, the American people did this once. We need to slow down. We're not ready to have a kumbaya moment here. We need to make sure that actually some of the things that were done, and they were done because they were traditions, not laws, we want to make sure that the United States actually starts fixing some of this stuff. Because what is to prevent it from happening again in 4 years or 8 years? So there's some heavy judgments that are going to be passed down on the United States, frankly, from friends and foe alike. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to be left out to dry, but definitely there are some concerns here. But keep in mind, in order for the end of this presidency to come around, in order for it to literally be toppled, it has to be a significant event or series of events that do that. Because so far, one thing we have learned is that Trump is really good at getting away with things that literally nobody else would have the audacity to even try, never mind the expectations that they would get away with it. So it isn't just going to be the typical indignation that pushes this situation forward. It is going to be a series of sort of body slams. And we have Ukraine as one. We now have this situation as two. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about, right? Sort of that sense of America now, you have to really show us that you're going to try to fix this so that it doesn't happen again. You know, are we going to put our troops on the line when you illegally start a war with somebody who, like, you know, or ratchet up perhaps the type of warfare that's going on? Because I got to tell you, I'm honestly not sure exactly who the U.S. is at war with, because I'm sorry, you guys tend to be at a war a lot, and they go on and on and on with no resolution, because for some reason that doesn't ever seem to be part of the strategy when you go into war. I digress. So there is a sense that there really does need to be some sort of a balance achieved. And okay, and here comes the good news, okay? You've waited almost 23 minutes for it. Here it comes. There is almost going to be a divine intervention. There is going to be very, very calming energy that is being sent out on multiple levels in multiple ways. So light workers and earth angels, you're going to be doing your thing to send calming and restful energy and sort of a pulling back of the intensity of the emotions from other vibrations, energy levels. Help is coming from all of the different levels of vibration that are out there that are working towards putting the earth in frankly, a better place than where it appears to be heading right now. So there's divine intervention coming, and there's energetic intervention coming. Prayers, sending light, energy. We'll probably get into more of that in on the other channel, but there is going to be a bit of a calming, and things are not going to end up in a real disastrous situation as it looks right now. And in fact, there may even be some information that quietly starts to get leaked about how this decision was arrived at and who was involved. And that is going to, frankly, strengthen the case of creating these moments. So on the one hand, you know what? I'm sorry, you're in for kind of a rough ride in the next few weeks, especially. And it's not going to be easy, you guys. now have sort of been targeted in a way that, frankly, you weren't, on Thursday. But here we have it. Okay, so a really heavy burden. This is going to be a heavy lift for even the Republicans. They're not going to be able to communicate any sort of a coherent message behind the logic for this. And you've got insights, communications coming out. You've got both the Page and the Knight of Wands. So you have some really smart people thinking and trying to figure out a way to sort of not only present this in its best light, but actually more important, behind the scenes, they're actually trying to figure out how to, pour water on the fire, right? So there is communications and help and guidance and support going on in many, many different ways. Okay, and as a final thought, this is what you have here, right? You have Trump sitting here thinking, this is going to be brilliant for me. Brilliant. This is going to be such a great campaign issue. I'm going to ace it. It's going to be amazing. And the ultimate result is that he ends up becoming very, very disappointed about how that actually played out. And ultimately, he's going to have to walk away or walk it back. Yeah. Okay, take comfort. You have divine intervention here on both sides of the card that is currently representing the country, which is sort of blinded and bound to the whims of Trump. But there is help coming to you from a variety of directions. So take comfort from that. Try to stay calm. And I will continue to monitor this situation. We'll look back on it probably in just a few days' time. But try to stay calm, okay? And understand that you're not alone. It might feel like you're alone. It may feel like, you're fighting this guy all by yourself, but you're not. There's a lot of global support for trying to contain some of the instincts of Trump and the behavior. And so you're not alone. Hang in there. Stay calm. Stand in your power. Stand in your light. Do not let the dark overwhelm you. Keep your thoughts hopeful and light-filled and bright. Instead of sinking into worry, sink into a prayerful healing energy release being sent to the players and the people involved. Do your work proactively, and I think you'll probably weather this storm better. Okay. Again, I can't thank you enough for the support that you all have given this channel. It has flourished beyond my expectations. I am so humbled and I am so grateful. So thank you. Remember that every time you like or subscribe or comment or share, you are strengthening this channel. So thank you very, very much. I'm ever so grateful. Also, private donations that have come in are very sweet, very much appreciated. And I'm very grateful for them. So thank you for that. And finally, private readings information in the box below. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Until next time, be well.